He was a minister. He lost that portfolio. He lost that power. He then lost his seat and they were marching on this. They were marching people and stand up for him and lost that too. He was sidelined by his leader. He was vilified by his own leader. He was a raging bull. He was a Rottweiler. He was all kind of thing. Because of that courageous and noble stand, this very government is in power because of that.
Persad claims that the current administration is corrupt. He says there's a lack of governance, nepotism, and contempt for the people. He described the last 5 years as a political fraud, and he had this to say about what is happening in the country.
Well, if this system is the deal, then Kamala name is now Kamala System Persad Recessor. And Suraj, don't know he's market back, but that ain't up for him. Here's Suraj, System Ramachan. And Persad, but don't know what he got PhD, he's Dr. Rural System Rural. And all around one father, one father called System Lal.
And political leader of the People's National Movement, Dr. Keith Rowley, is calling on the government to stop playing politics with Caroni 1975. Now speaking in Cuba last evening, Dr. Rowley said the PNM treated the issue quite fairly. In 2003, after 28 years, Caroni 1975 wound up its operations, marking the end of an era for the state-owned agro-industrial company. Hundreds of thousands of workers participated in Caroni's value chain, but as the world economy changed, the government of the day could no longer saddle the billion-dollar bill. Today, the issue is still a political one, but Dr. Keith Rowley says the PNM treated the workers fairly.
When the industry was closed down, we spent $2.5 billion in the exercise. Every worker in Caroni went home with an enhanced pension. And those who didn't have a house qualified for a building lot at Peppercorn. And those who wanted to go into farming, they qualified to have a piece of land to farm on. Where else did that ever happen in Trinidad and Tobago?
Dr. Rowley says the People's Partnership continues to politicize the issue.
You're promising to pay them $75,000, but you're going to give them 1/3 now, and they'll get 2/3 after the election. And you know what? That payment has nothing to do with the election, you know. It has nothing to do with the election. It's just that you owe these monies and the PNM hate you and didn't give you.
The PNM political leader has one message for the ex-Caroni workers.
We of the PNM have no record of turning our backs on a government commitment made by the government of Trinidad and Tobago. And since this government has made that commitment, we will pay you the money.
And on the issue of property tax, the PNM political leader is accusing Larry Hawaii of once again misleading the population.
I'm telling you again tonight, they did not abolish it. They simply amended the law to end the amnesty, and it ends after the election. And after the election, they expect to be there enforcing it.
To support his claim, he cited a letter delivered by the Commissioner of State Lands to a landowner in Togo.
This is for half an acre of land that she has been in occupancy of for the longest while. It comes up for renewal, and her fee moves from $400 to $29,225. And if she doesn't like that, arrangement of paying it annually on that basis, and they said after 10 years, they can now review the rent to raise it again, the lease, because it's renewable at intervals of 10 years.
Dr. Rowley insists that the Commissioner has a lot of explaining to do. For CNC3, I'm Himran Kisu. And a 40-year-old man from New Grand was arrested during a roadblock for transporting $60,000 worth of cocaine. He was one of 38 persons arrested over the weekend during an anti-crime exercise carried out in southern Trinidad. Police say the man, who was from Tarab Trace, New Grand, was arrested for possession of 1.7 kilograms of cocaine with a street value of almost $59,500 also, so it ranges. He was charged for possession of cocaine for the purpose of trafficking. The exercise was conducted by officers attached to various police departments throughout Trinidad and specifically South Trinidad.